when cheap knockoff parts from Amazon ends up making a problem worse than it was before you even started. Let's get started. This is a 2013 Toyota Camry. It came in for loss of power, check engine light, and a few other issues. They'd like to have it checked out. And just like I have mentioned many times in the past, and this is something one of my mentors taught me from years ago, whenever a customer states, I've replaced this and I've replaced that and the problem got worse, that's exactly where I'm going to start, where your hands were. Because it's probably what's wrong. We're going to show out today, it is what was wrong, and the choice of parts made the problem even worse. Whenever someone does their own work or has a friend do their work, they may have done a good job, they may not have. The parts could be quality, they may not be quality. You don't know what you're working with. So before you can dive into anything else on the car, as a seasoned technician, the first thing you dive into and it's like laser focus on is exactly where the last person was working. 90% of the time you'll find maybe some parts were used that weren't great quality, or the person doing the work maybe wasn't very experienced at doing that type of work, made a few mistakes and made the problem worse. And you can actually solve the problem completely by doing the job over correctly with the correct parts or the correct procedures. Because whatever the original problem was has now had 2 or 3 items tacked onto that of being disturbed, having other parts put on, and you really have to deal with that before you can get to the root of the problem. Let's take a look around this Camry. Here's the front of this Camry. You can see it does have some clouded headlights and there's some zip ties or something holding on some of the lower fascia or the lower grille there. But that's not why the car's here, so we're not going to worry about that too much. As we come around to the side, it's in decent shape. It's got some good tires. The wheels aren't all beat up or anything. The paint looks decent. It's not that old of a car, really. You can see it is the Camry LE. It does have the 2.5 4-cylinder in it that we'll take a look at here in a minute. And down this side on the passenger right door, we do see kind of a dent and some scuffing going on there, so not sure what happened there. And for those of you who have a keen eye, you can see that this is a lighter red than this is. This is a darker red. So let's go ahead and get the hood open and talk about why it's here and what we found. So here's our 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Fairly reliable engines. They don't give a whole lot of trouble. Pretty bulletproof. But they have had some work done on this. And one thing we can show you on the battery tray area that kind of scares me, which it's originally not here for this problem. They've got the incorrect battery, an Optima red top, and then they got what looks like a piece of a garage door roller track or something bolted on, holding in the battery. I'm not sure what's going on there. But this really scares me here is that this strap, which is currently grounded to the body, is very close to the positive. If this were to shift around and it were to touch, that could be disastrous. So we're definitely going to see what we can do if the customer will let us do anything with that. If that were to touch and ground out, it would obviously shut off the engine. The energy would be lost to run the engine into this bar, and the bar would start glowing red hot. It could cause the battery to blow up. It definitely would cause some smoke and probably melt this battery down pretty fast. Maybe we can put a piece of plastic there or something to at least shield it. We'll see what they want to do with that.
So Wizard, why did they put a different battery in that's not meant for that car?
People do swear by those batteries. They are really good batteries, the Optima red top and yellow tops. But as far as modifying the way they did to fit, I don't know why they didn't just put the stock standard battery back in. I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that. But it did have low power, check engine light. It had high idle, several other issues. And I'll show you guys some scan tool pictures here of what we found. You can see there it has gross evap leak, also engine running lean, which is from an evap leak. It also has some purge valve codes. It didn't really have too much else going on, but they mentioned to Crazy D in the office that they had replaced a valve in the engine bay. They didn't say what valve, and did some other work, an airflow sensor here or there. They tried to work on a belt tensioner. Based on when they told me those things, I immediately went to those areas to take a look. Let's see what we find. And it's really easy to see what parts have been replaced on an engine, especially a dusty one like this, is when you see brand new shiny parts, just like these two. Here's our mass airflow sensor, and you can see on the sticker, I don't know if you guys can read it, but in really fine print on the bottom it says made in China. No name, it's just made in China. This is our evap purge valve, but one thing that's really kind of scaring me is how they didn't even use the original mount. They just ran a screw through the old mount and they cut some of the old mount away to fit this on. I don't even know if it's the proper purge valve. All politics aside, Toyotas are very sensitive to their parameters on engine electronics. They definitely do not like stuff that's very knockoff, lower quality, made in China parts. One of the things my mentor told me when I was coming up, on a Toyota especially, you don't ever put made in China mass airflow sensors on them. It's only Denso or Hitachi or whatever brand is supposed to be there. You do not put made in China, no name brands, or bad idea. When I first saw that sticker, it said made in China, it just kind of came out of my mouth. I said, wrong answer, wrong answer. That is a bad move. But with the purge valve, I'm going to go ahead and remove it for you guys and show you where this massive leak was coming from. Not only is it the incorrect valve, it's another made in China part, possibly bought on Amazon, I would imagine. Let's go ahead and remove it and show you what we found there. Here's the old valve. A correct one should say Toyota on the side, an OEM one. That's the only ones I would put on. This one says 312-6080-99, and definitely not a stock part. When I first removed this, the first thing I did was be able to blow through it, and I still can. You can just blow right through it. A purge valve is supposed to be sealed shut when the power is off, only opening when the ECM sends the signal to open it. So basically this thing is stuck open and it's allowing vapors from the fuel tank through into the engine all the time, full vapors all the time. And the computer's probably saying, let's shut that off, that's bad, and it's saying I can't, it's stuck open. So they took the problem, whatever problem they had, put an even worse part on, and then I doubt the airflow sensor was ever bad. They were just hoping that would fix it, and they put one on that's way worse quality than the one that was originally on there. It probably wasn't even bad. So now we have doubly made the situation worse than what it originally was. So I'll put the part back in real quick just so I can start the engine. There's something completely not even related to these problems here that is definitely going to be a problem. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, they put on a tensioner to try and solve a rattle or do something. I'm not sure what they did there, but let's show you what it does. Did you guys see that? That thing was flopping around pretty bad, wasn't it? I don't think that's the correct tensioner, or it's just a very cheap knockoff one. You can tell it's not the correct tensioner. They had to stack washers to hold it on, and also appears on the body of it that someone's been grinding on it. Let's take a look at that. You kind of see grind marks right here where I'm rubbing, and all over the body of this thing. It's like a grinding wheel has been sanded the whole body. We can see right here on this bolt, it was probably too long or something, and they stacked washers so it didn't squish it too hard or lock it up. I'm not sure what happened there. So I see that, and I was just like, what the heck's going on here? This is complicating things. It doesn't need to be complicated. But I get it. I understand. Toyota parts are a little bit more expensive than even common Chevy or Ford or Dodge parts. They can be double. Where a mass airflow sensor might be $100 or $80 for a Chevy, it could be $150 for a Toyota. So now we know what's wrong. It's got evap codes gross leak because the purge valve is allowing a gross leak. It's failed. It was bad out of the box, brand new. The airflow sensor is supposed to be reading roughly around 3 grams per second in idle with the accessories off. It was running 1.9. That's what I was getting. Very low reading. I've been to this rodeo many times. I've been there and got the t-shirt at least 500 times. It feels that way anyways.
That's why our closet's overflowing with really bad t-shirts.
Really bad t-shirts, yes. I don't know how many times a car came in running bad. It's got issues with airflow ratio. They've tried this, they tried that, and you find out it's got a Chinese airflow sensor on it. You go to put the correct Denso one on, problem solved. Why didn't we do that to begin with? Because it was too expensive. Now you've paid a shop bill to figure out that you should have got the correct part the first time. It would have been cheaper to just buy the right part. But like I said, I get it. These parts are expensive. And I'm going to go over that here towards the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get this thing on a lift and see what it looks like underneath. So we've got everything figured out up top, what's going on. Why are we looking underneath? Because there's always that two words that my mentor told me years ago, ever since. You always give an inspection on a vehicle because you could find something loose, something broken, that's been broken for 6 months. But they'll leave here and say, ever since my car was in your shop, this is broken. I need to see those things first before it leaves so I can annotate them, let them know. Some people don't even know that it's broken, and then they realize it's broken later and try to blame the shop. So we're going to do an inspection. So we know some sort of an impact has happened with these zip ties, and then now they've got some screws holding on. This belly pan, have kind of just random screws in there. Take a look here, we don't see any leaks going on. The oil filter or oil pan or transmission. It is a Toyota, so I'm not surprised it's not leaking. We can see some deep grooves in these brakes though. That's pretty deep. The pads don't look like they're worn down or anything, but maybe they live somewhere on a dirt road where a lot of sand gets in. That can cause that. CV boots are good. I don't see anything going on there. Struts are dry. Sway bar links are good. Same thing on the rotors here. Might let them know they're getting some sand in the brakes and scoring it up pretty good. Struts are good. Sway bar links are not loose. CV boots are dry. Nothing loose there. As we go back, we see our exhaust is intact. The cat or anything hasn't been cut off. Everything looks good here. No rust going on, no damage. Fuel tank looks good. Check our back brakes and suspension. Struts are dry. Sway bar links are good. Brake pads are about 50% remaining. It's got some, not deep grooves, it's just lots of light grooves. Sway bar link is good. Strut is good. Same situation on the brakes. They're not bad, but they got some grooving going on. Nothing's loose there. And this thing even has a rear diffuser. Look guys, it actually has one on a Toyota Camry. There's the little strakes there. A rear diffuser for those high performance moves. Well, let's check the tires real quick. It's got 4 good tires. They're Goodyear assurances, and you can see 4 of 24. So these are fairly new tires. They're good to go. Let's get this thing on the ground. Luckily, the damage we saw on the front end on the bottom has nothing to do with any of the noises or electrical problems we're having on this car. And like I said here a little bit ago, I get it. They have some issues. They see the parts are for sale on Amazon or wherever they got them. And not knowing any better, they think, well, that'll solve it. This is kind of a video for you guys to show you that there are parts out there that are for sale that shouldn't be for sale. They shouldn't be on the market. They're literal trash, brand new in the box. You haven't even opened the box yet, and all you have is a pile of trash. I get that comment a lot. Well, it's new. I put that new part on. It's brand new. I don't care. There's a lot of brand new parts out there that are junk. Especially on a Toyota, we stick to name brand OEM, Denso, or Toyota. OEM parts. They just don't suffer cheap parts very well. There's some cars, an old Chevy Beretta or something, you can get by with some cheap parts. But these cars are set up where they do not tolerate cheap parts. So we'll get the price to the customer and see what they're going to do. Unfortunately, the purge valve, the tensioner, and then the airflow sensor, they all need to be replaced with good, proper, good brand parts. And just the parts alone are going to be $400 or $500. We'll see if they still have the old mass airflow sensor. It probably will be just fine There's probably nothing wrong with it. They were just kind of taking a gamble and hoping that would fix it and end up making the problem even worse. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this Toyota or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut if you purchase anything and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's many more cool videos for you guys coming down the pipe. Thanks for watching.